How are you lovely people doing today? My name is John, and welcome to another beautiful episode of the Zombie Storyline Q&A. This is the series where I take your questions about the zombie storyline and answer them. Whether it's a big, a small, or a simple question, I'm more than happy to take it on, so you can either leave your questions down below, or you can tweet me at ShawneyJ25. Before we begin the episode, there's a couple announcements I would like to quickly make. I just started a second channel. This channel is for Let's Plays and other cool gameplay that I'd like to show off to you guys, so if you'd like to see more of me, or you'd like to see some awesome gameplay, please you check out the channel. A link down below and on screen. I just uploaded a video where I'm showing off a brand new amazing Ascension mod in which the Shadows of Evil Wonder Weapon, the Apothecant server, has been placed in Black Ops 1. So if that sounds cool to you, check it out. A link down below and on screen. Another thing I'd like to mention is that me and several zombie YouTubers got together and we are doing a sort of holiday giveaway of Black Ops 3 to say thank you. So if you'd like to check it out, a link down below. It's absolutely free to enter. This is our way of saying thank you for just being awesome and supportive fans. So if that interests you, second link in the description. Without further ado though, let's begin. To kick off today's episode, we have a question from Emilio Tirado, who asks, question Johnny, what are the pods? The pods were first featured in Shadows of Evil, and they were a little bit strange. This is the first time we really saw interactive plants in zombies, but when you start to dig into the world of Shadows of Evil and you explore, you start to answer the question of what are these pods. Our first hint was from this phone booth that we found in Shadows of Evil.
Hey Mr. Rapp, just checking in. So I'm here, finally. Taking in the sights, sounds, and smells of Morgue City. I know you sent me here to write a piece about the city's bustling nightlife and theater scene, and the characters that inhabit it, but things are getting kind of strange. Even though no one seems to want to talk about it, something is definitely off about this city. Just last week there was a meteor shower. A freaking meteor shower. And everybody acted like it was no big thing. Then, a mold showed up. All over the city. In the dark, damp alleys, there's a strange kind of fungus growing. It looks weird and smells even weirder, but nobody really says anything. Then people started getting sick. At first it just made them delirious, confused. Then they really got sick. It was like they were wasting away. People finally started talking about it. I spoke to one guy in his 80s, a fruit seller, at the local market. He said something similar happened in New England in 1882. When I tried to press him on it, he just lowered his head and ignored me. If you ask me, something definitely ain't right here.
The biggest clue we receive from this reporter is that he mentions that he spoke to an old man who said the same exact thing happened in New England in 1882. Let's remember the one person who has had the most inspiration in Shadows of Evil so far. H.P. Lovecraft. Well, H.P. Lovecraft once wrote a short story called The Color Out of Space, and the story goes like this. There was a man who was sort of surveying Boston, almost like a reporter, and then there was a meteor shower, and one of the meteors actually crashed into the farm of a man named Nahum Gardner. Now, he learned about this meteor from an old man. Now, once this meteor crashed down onto the ground, it began to sort of shrink and gave off a very bizarre color. Now, this color was just out of the visible spectrum of light, so people couldn't quite see it. However, I guess if you had extra rods and cones in your eyes, then maybe you possibly would have been able to see it. However, the general population could not see this color. This color, though, started to have a very strange effect on the world. Many of the plants within the farm began to sort of grow uncontrollably large and then also quite abundant, and it was appearing all over the area. Many of the plants it was growing were inedible and starting to poison the soil. In addition to that, many of the people in the town start to go uncontrollably mad as well as die. The town was basically being infected by this color. There's a lot of parallels to Shadows of Evil. Of course, we have the reporter and we have the surveyor, which are featured in both stories. Then there is the meteor shower he speaks about. A meteor shower also happens in The Color Out of Space. And then following the meteor shower, we start to see many funguses appear from the ground. So clearly, the plants within Shadows of Evil were a direct inspiration of H.P. Lovecraft's The Color Out of Space. The parallels are too great to deny the inspiration. It's pretty obvious. So that is where the pods come from in Shadows of Evil. They're a direct reference to The Color Out of Space by H.P. Lovecraft. We're going to conclude today's episode with a question from Purple Man Sheep, who asks, with Johnny J25, what is up with the floating house that says the children will be safe inside? On a multiplayer map, you can actually see the house. He's referring to this image right here, which is a compilation of many scraps of paper found within Shadows of Evil. You can clearly see a house floating upon a rock, and it says the children will be safe inside. This was made famous by Mr. Raffle Waffles, who first picked this up. He noticed that in the multiplayer map Infection, you can see the house that is eerily similar to the one within the picture from Shadows of Evil. When we're playing the map Origins and we're completing the Easter egg, we are given this cutscene of Teddy and Samantha within a house playing zombies, I guess you could say. And many people believe this house to be the house that we see in Shadows of Evil and the house that we see within Infection. So this begs the question, what is going on with this house and why is it kind of locked away in time and space? To answer this question, what we need to do is take a listen to some of the radios Dr. Maxis had left on the map, The Giant.
Day 66. The children are gone, and the house feels empty. I miss their laughter, their games. The sirens have not sounded for several months. I do believe that we may have turned the tide in the battle. But at what cost? The radiation levels from the fallout remain dangerously high. I can only pray I live long enough to confirm that my plan was indeed successful. And the dark presence that has haunted our dreams and infected every facet of our existence has finally been vanquished.
Some of the key things I'd like to point out from this radio is that it's 66 days after his plan was enacted and the children are now gone, which means there's probably a direct correlation between his plan and the removal of the children. Following his plan, radiation levels were incredibly high and he started to become concerned for his own life, so he probably would have been worried for the children's lives too. What I assume happened was Dr. Maxis had this plan. We don't know what the plan was, but this plan could have been deadly, so he needed to make sure the children were safe. For some reason, the children are incredibly important. What he did was he basically created a pocket of space and time surrounding the house and left the children inside. This pocket of space and time only holds the house and the ground upon which it stands. He then moved it to another universe in space and time. Now, a big hint to this is the fact that we see it on the map Infection, and we also see it in the paper from Dr. Richthofen. We see all the different universes that he's planning on jumping to and from, and he also sees the children in the house. The children are safe in the house because they're away from whatever Dr. Maxis' plan was. He was probably doing this to protect the children. Things start to get a little bit complicated though, because we get radios in which Dr. Maxis says that Samantha is back. However, he also says she's noticeably different. She only calls out for him, whoever him may be, possibly Richthofen or Eddie. We don't entirely know. There are a lot of questions to why this house exists and what the significance of the house is. I believe though it will be explored in the next upcoming map, Der Eisendrache. So that's why I wanted to bring this up to you guys. I wanted everybody to sort of be on the same page, understand the significance of the house as we begin to explore the future and the meaning of this house within Der Eisendrache. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up for this episode of the Zombie Storyline Q&A. If you enjoyed it, maybe give it a like or possibly subscribe for more episodes. I upload multiple every week, and if you enjoyed this one, I'm sure you'll love the next one. In addition to that, you can also check out my second channel like I mentioned earlier, and if you'd like to see the Shadows of Evil Wonder Weapons within Ascension, please do check out that video, first link in the description. You can also enter the Black Ops 1 giveaway, second link in the description, Black Ops 3 giveaway. It's pretty easy, no payment required. All you gotta do is just click on the link and it's very simple. Anyway, I'm gonna go though. Have a wonderful day and bye.